Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is, as you may now, or may not know, Rundown. How's everyone doing today? So, I wanted to kind of spend the first little bit here talking about some more plans for the channel, as well as spend the second half of the video, or probably this like the latter part of the video, sort of talking about why people feel the need to be toxic, or why do people get enjoyment from like making other people feel bad. But for the first part of the video, so the content you're gonna see on the screen is still some Shadows of Mordor, which I still have, I think, like 5 other videos of this, all about 30 minutes long. I have not played the game in almost a year now, but I still have content for it, as well as like old Overwatch gameplays and stuff. So the content I upload is probably going to vary whenever I do, I don't know, is this an editorial? I really don't know. I guess commentary of this likeness. So what is the plan for the channel? So the idea that I have is to have Monday through Friday to be like sort of like my sort of let's play, where I'd probably go through a game sort of exactly like how I did the Legend of Dragoon. Probably going to be an older game, and that's just me playing it, you know, commentating over it, probably doing live commentaries for those days. If I happen to do like some kind of random multiplayer game, or you know, I could. My goal is to have some kind of gameplay and have commentary focused on the gameplay or me playing it. Saturday, I have kind of an idea of what I want to do. Probably just have like a multiplayer day. You know, sort of like where I play, like, let's say Overwatch, or which I don't even play Overwatch anymore. I don't have the game installed. Or probably like I can't even like upload Smite. I don't know. Probably like a day where I play with my friends and sort of maybe upload gameplay like that. But I'm not entirely set on that idea. Oh goodness, I was about to sneeze. Sorry guys, I'm a little sick, under the weather as of recording this video. But I also felt like recording a video, so whereas like the time of me recording this, I have already completed the Legend of Dragoon. So that's been done. You know, there's a very long finale for those who have not seen the Let's Play of that. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I fight the final boss with a very, very high difficulty. We'll say that much. Very, very interesting gameplay. So if you haven't checked that out, it's up to you if you want to check it out. I'm not going to force anyone to do that. As far as for Sundays, so Sunday's probably going to be when this video goes up, and it's going to be the launch of this format, where on Sunday I want to have commentaries like this, where I sort of sit down and talk about either like stuff that's going on in the world, maybe just general ideas or thoughts on things. I'm sorry, I'm playing with a Swiss Army knife still. And you know, like just sort of a general commentary where I sit down and talk to you guys, and I would say we try to have like a conversation in the comments, but I don't want to have conversations in the comments because I feel like the YouTube comments is a terrifying place, you know. So it's just me gonna be sitting here giving my thoughts and opinions on certain things. Like the second half of this video is gonna be, why do people feel good when they're mean to other people? And I would be specifically referring to like online. So but that's going to be the format moving forward for the foreseeable future, at least for like the next week. The next game I do plan on playing, if I can get it to work, I'll probably try to take a look at Resident Evil 4. It's another one of my all-time favorite games, and I'm going to try to get that up and running. If I can, I think I know what game I'm going to play after that. So kind of bouncing around all these different genres of games that I just enjoy playing. But like, I think another thing about it too is I'm also very happy to listen to like requests for games. If there's like a game I've never played before that, you know, it sounds like would be a really interesting kind of let's play, then I'm happy to do it. And I feel like calling it a let's play is kind of a strong word almost, in a sense. Hey, hold on, I'm gonna mute the mic because I'm gonna blow my nose. Nope. Nope. Ooh, that's better. All right. Doing it live, like always. Yeah, I got like I think the next 2 games that I think I would want to play out there. But if anyone has any ideas for any games that are like really cool, really fun to play, but would also make like decent like commentary slash let's play kind of deal, because I thought about doing Metal Gear Solid 3 as that's a game I just been really wanting to play, and I thought, well, it'd be cool to make like videos out of. And I feel like if I was going to play the game and I was going to record gameplay, I would only have that gameplay over like this type of commentary, for example, where it's not really, it's me playing the game, but we're not talking necessarily about the game. The gameplay is simply just there as a not really a distraction, but there is kind of just to entertain, versus actually be the source of the commentary like I have for like say Legend of Dragoon or the next game I plan on playing, which is, if I can try to get it to run, it's going to be Resident Evil 4. So we'll see how that ends up going. Still Saturdays are a little bit kind of up in the air, but I'm thinking probably gonna be some kind of multiplayer game, just kind of change things up, but just have Monday through Friday to kind of be like the standard staple. Like, so it's like 5 videos of a game a week. And that also gives me time to like record different things to post, you know, like commentaries like this, or like play some multiplayer games and actually get some videos out of them. You know, if I like a really good multiplayer game of something, I feel like I want to post it. But the problem with multiplayer games is a lot of them are very CPU intensive, and I don't have the newest computer, so they may very well end up being like not very good quality, and I may end up scrapping the idea and just adding another day to that format of having 6 days a week of a let's play and then 1 day of a commentary. Another thing about Sundays is Sundays are also very busy for me anyway, because I'm typically going to be at my mom's house slash getting things ready for Dungeons and Dragons. So that's what makes these types of commentaries a little bit easier, because I can just kind of sit down and talk about, well, I think, you know, here's what's going on in my life, and have sort of a short 20-minute or, you know, 15-minute video in a sense. I think another thing too is, you know, this, the video format's also going to change from video to video. Like The Legend of Dragoon, it was like one area was kind of a video, and for Resident Evil that would make sense for RE4. So like a chapter may be a video, you know, like the format will change. So not really like the video a week is going to be an hour like it kind of has been for the last couple days. So we will we shall see, guys. So to jump into the topic that I want to have for today's video, it was something kind of that I have been thinking about doing recently, and it was, why does hurting people feel good? And this is something that, like, I think we all can admit we're all guilty of in some manner or fashion. I feel like if you're not guilty of it, you're probably just lying to yourself. You know, like, everyone has hurt somebody at some point and has... I think, I mean, it's kind of sick to say, I'm not gonna say it otherwise, but it has gotten some kind of enjoyment out of it. Whether it be physically hit somebody to that extreme, or whether it just be like put somebody down, you know, like there's always been something. And I think mainly the thing I'm going to be looking towards is going to be sort of online gaming. Like, why do you have individuals that would play a video game online and think that, yes, I'm going to make this other person feel bad? And this conversation ended up coming up as a discussion with me and another person I was playing with recently, and it was that we were playing a game, and during that multiplayer game, we had a teammate that was underperforming, right? They weren't doing well, and this person that I was playing with felt it was their due diligence to make sure that this person knew that they weren't playing well, and that they felt bad for it, you know, like saying just things that were otherwise not very kind. And I felt the need to ask this person, you know, why is that necessary? It's completely unnecessary to make this other person feel bad. You know, I don't see the reason to do that. I do not do it. So why do you do it? And the individual said, well, it feels good. And yeah, to me that's a colossal red flag, you know, as far as just you know, relationships are concerned. You know, you probably shouldn't hang around with people who do stuff like that. It's a little off. Hey, this guy saved my life. It feels good. And not only that, he took the kill. Yay! I'm just looking at the video. Sorry for that, to change the thing. But I forgot how this fight actually ended. So, thank you, mysterious savior. Why did he look like a bald lasses? Alright, so But the point I want to bring to is, like, why does hurting people feel good? Why do some people feel the need to do it? Why do some people do it? And this is a video that I feel like I could actually spend an hour on, and I very well may touch on it in a later video. But for right now, I'm just gonna try to spend about 10 minutes on it, just to sort of have like a kind of a kickoff video and sort of discuss like the format of these videos moving forward. But the idea of hurting somebody and it feeling good. So like, why do people do it? Well, in my own opinion, if I'm on a team with somebody and the teammate is underperforming for whatever reason, but I can tell that they're clearly trying, they're just, they're just not performing well. The thing to me is I don't get angry. And I think, like, back in the day, when I was a child, yes, I would get angry. When I think I was, like, a teenager or, I think of it almost as childlike mentality. Because you don't benefit, right? It's not like you have a teammate who's on your team, and you tell yourself, you know what? This teammate is underperforming. If only I were to yell at them and tell them that they're underperforming and make them feel bad, then they would start performing better. Because I don't feel like that's exactly the thought process that runs through your head whenever you start doing things like that. If it is, then that's a very curious thought process, and I would challenge that. I don't think anyone has ever said, wow, this guy's being really mean to me. I'm going to start playing better so he won't pick on me anymore. Yeah, that's not a thought that people have, dude. It's just FYI. The thought they have is I'm just going to probably block you. You're not a very nice person. So the question is, then why do it? What makes somebody do something like that? And I'll tell you that humans, just like any animals, are very basic creatures. We do things because it feels good to do those things, whether it be eat food, whether it be spend time with a loved one, or whether it be have a conversation with somebody who we enjoy talking to, or even to the point of the discussion, make somebody feel bad. These are all things that we do because, in some manner of speaking, we do feel better after we complete these tasks and objectives. So then why does it feel good to make others feel bad? And there's several ideas and theories to this. The first one, and this is a kind of an interesting one. Also, I don't know how I didn't land on that. Thing. But the first one would be insecurity. So I think we've all had sort of people in our lives who are insecure, and like, what exactly does that mean? Well, insecurity and acting out with insecurity is like the sense that you're losing out on something. Like, this person has something that I feel like if I don't have, I'm gonna put them down. You can almost think of it as a form of jealousy, in a sense. So, like, let's say that, for example, what would be a good example of that? I guess bullies are really good a sense of that. So, like, you think like the schoolyard bully who picks on people because he's afraid that he'll be picked on, right? It's like the insecurity of, well, let's say I got a bad grade, right? And I'm going to pick on you for getting a worse grade because, like, I already failed the test, but I failed it with like a 60. You failed it with a 40. You're a bad person. I'm going to make sure you feel really bad. So now that you feel really bad, like, I feel better than you. Therefore, I'm doing better than you. It's a very very elementary school thought process. It really is. At least I think it to be a very childish thought process, because it's insecure to the point that, like, I am better when everyone around me is worse. So what I'm going to do is, because I feel bad, is I'm going to make everyone else around me feel bad as well. I'm going to pause the mic again. Hold on. Doing commentary is why sick is a fun thing to do. But that's sort of the insecurity mindset, right? And I'm also going to have to go, like, fast on these because I feel like this should be an hour-long video, but this is not. It's just going to be like a 20-minute-long video. So that's one idea of why do people make other people feel bad. Another one, and probably going to be the main topic of another video in the future, is narcissism. So what is, like, narcissism in this instance? Well, it's somebody who needs to feel good about themselves, and they do this by essentially putting down other people. So it's kind of similar in the sense of insecurity, only insecurity is you're already doing bad, so you want to make others feel worse, whereas narcissism is you may be doing well, but you need other people to still feel bad because they're not at your level. That's kind of the example there. So let's say, for example, this is probably the most common one that you're going to see, and really goes to the point of the person who is on my team, is the narcissistic behavior of I'm performing well in this video game, you are not performing well in this video game, therefore I'm going to punish you by telling you how bad you are, and I'm going to teach you a lesson or like give you advice that you clearly don't want, to essentially make you perform better. But all in all, the only thing that ends up happening is you are making this person feel bad and you're feeling better because they feel worse. You know, like, haha, I am making this person feel bad. I am justified in my actions. And all that ends up happening is, yet again, you're still a bully. You know what I mean? So there's a few other reasons as well. There's just, for example, negative people, negative people are stuff who like will say things like, oh, well, you can't do this. I've tried it. It didn't work. Or, you know, no one ever really makes it big, so you shouldn't try. You know, they just put down other people because they feel like, I feel bad, so then you need to feel bad. So that's the third reason for why making other people feel bad feels good. There's probably a few other reasons that I'm missing here, and I feel like I'll go more into depth on that on a longer video. But for the sake of only having like 6 or 7 minutes left, I would spend time touching on the narcissistic point of view, because I feel like that one I've got the most experience with, just given my family background, and just playing video games online for as long as I have. So what necessarily is narcissism? How does how does anger end up flaring up in the first place? And anger, from how I understand it, and this is kind of more of a recent discovery to me, is anger comes from the need or the want to feel like you're in control. We get angry when things don't play out the way that we think they should. You know, for example, if I play an online video game and I feel like I want to win and I'm trying very hard to do so and I'm performing very well and I feel like I ought to be winning, and I have a teammate who is underperforming, and I'm going to think that it is his fault that we are underperforming. After all, I'm doing really well, so it's his fault that we're underperforming, so I need to make sure that he knows that he is ruining my game. And the idea behind that is completely ridiculous. I feel like if you were to take this person and sit them down in a logical setting and say, how does making him help you win this game? How does hurting this individual, you know, him, her, help you win this game? And the person would probably say, well, it doesn't, but I feel better after I make them feel bad. And to that point, I would say, well, I feel like you're going to continue to hurt people until you come to understand that you're the one who's being toxic in this scenario. You know, the thing is, and I think that there's a lot of different coping mechanisms for anger. But like I said before, anger comes from the need or the want to control your environments or to control other people. I think of another example of, like, let's say you're friends with somebody and they're not doing something the way you want them to do. You know, you think, well, they ought to do this. Things would be better if they did this. You know, they should be doing this thing. And it's that need to have this particular outcome that you've deemed to be the best outcome that ultimately ends up being what causes you to get angry. That's another good example of that. You're gonna have to forgive me. I watched what was on the screen. I completely forgot what I was doing, so I was like, "Ooh, pretty explosions." But there's the different coping mechanisms for anger, and I feel like the first one is to say that you don't know everything. And this is something that's really helped me with online video games, because I know that I don't know everything, and I can't possibly assume that I do. And this really hit home with me when I was playing an online video game, and my mother, and I feel like I'm probably getting a little personal here, but this is also a very long time ago, and as I said, things that happened a very long time ago I will feel more open to talk about. But my mother was in a very rough mental spot and was about to do something that she would probably regret. And so I told the people playing the game, like, hey, I have to leave, I have to go do something. And none of these people knew what it was, obviously. They didn't know that my mother was about to do something very unfortunate to herself if she had actually done it. And I come back to the lobby, of course, after like 40 minutes or because this ended up taking a hot minute. And when I came back to the lobby, I was greeted to a bunch of people in the chat. No, excuse me. I was greeted to about 2 people in the chat that told me to go kill myself. You know, I was the worst person ever. I shouldn't queue games. If I even knew there was a possibility that I would have to go. And to me, I think, well, that was the moment for me when I realized, so these people here have no idea what's going on, right? They think they know everything, and they think that because they know everything, they already know that, things ought to be this way. There's the other idea of, like, let's say that, so like whenever I'm playing video games or something and I have somebody on my team who may be underperforming, I don't know what's going on in their life. They may be, super duper stressed out at the moment, and this is kind of just them trying to de-stress. There may be a crying kid in the background they're trying to, deal with. There may be, they may be drunk. Like, yelling at them doesn't change any of those scenarios. And you could say, well, Alex, this is probably not something for every player. And I would say no, but I think the idea that I don't know what's going on in every player's room is something that's true for every player. I have no idea. I don't know what kind of mental state they're in. And then the argument would say, well, Alex, this person is clearly trolling. They did this thing that doesn't make any sense, and no sane person would do that. And I would say, okay, well, that's unfortunate, but you can't control them. You can't make them play this way. You can't play every position. You shouldn't. It's a weird thing to try to want people to do certain things. It's very controlling in that sense. And I feel like does play into that narcissism mentality of, I know what's best for everybody. I know what the best team composition is. I know what we need to do to win. And I feel like if you do truly think that you know all of this stuff, then you must be the best player that's ever existed. Like, well, I was like, wow, I guess I really am blessed to be in your presence. That's impressive, dude, because I certainly don't know everything, and I feel like you should probably humble yourself by saying, well, let's try this team composition out. Let's try to go this route, or let's try to do all these things, because I absolutely don't know everything. And I feel like that's the kind of narcissistic, know-it-all type of mentality that is also breeds a toxic type of environment. So those are just two things that I wanted to touch on with this video. I really feel like in another video I'm going to go more in depth on this. I'll probably end up writing down a couple more notes on things I want to touch on, because this was just kind of me going in just kind of on my own ideas, not really anything kind of fleshed out. But I will probably have some more in another couple weeks or stuff on this type of idea. But I look forward to this week. This week we'll probably end up wrapping up Legend of Dragoon and starting the next game. And I will end up seeing you guys then. I will also be kind of doing more stuff with my play that I'm in. So the videos may end up being shorter than expected, but I'll end up going into that in those videos there. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.